new 10-round lightweight bout. Former two-time IBF junior lightweight champion of the world, John Molina, squares off against the very tough Emanuel Burton. That coming up in our main event from the Miccosukee Resort here in Miami, Florida. Molina is well decorated. Burton is tough. We take a closer look at the combatants in the main event. He began boxing as a professional when Ronald Reagan was still in the White House. 35-year-old John Molina has been a decorated champion. Molina's career has been known for one thing, his toughness.
Over my 60-fight career, the key factor why I always had success is through hard work and dedication in the gym. I fight the way I train.
Molina first won a world championship way back in 1989. He has taken on boxing's toughest, but he hasn't received the notoriety that you might think with such a sterling record. He explains why he's flown under the radar.
I'm a good family man, and I consider myself a quiet individual, but I always train to fight. I always go out there and give it 100%. I don't feel I have to be a clown to be famous or to make money. I feel like I should get that merit by what I do inside that ring when the bell rings.
After a tough loss to Oscar De La Hoya, John Molina was willing to take on boxing's best, Sugar Shane Mosley. Many did not know, but Molina had physical problems. He had been battling problems with his appendix, and he did not have a lot of gas in the tank. He really could not continue, and in round number 8, this bout was stopped. Only the second time in Molina's career that he would be stopped. Shane Mosley would get the win, but Molina was not finished. John Molina would rebuild his career. In fact, against James Creighton last year, Molina was very impressive in winning a 10-round decision. He's won 5 in a row, and he'd like one more shot at some gold.
All I want to do is get a title fight. I deserve it. I'm healthy now. I fought both title fights. I was injured before the fight. Had my appendix taken off before the Garcia fight. And now I'm very healthy, and I just want to get that opportunity. I'll fight any of the world champions out there.
Well, like his fight with Creighton, Molina gets another tough test tonight. Emanuel Burton has 21 wins, and don't let those 15 losses fool you. He has been in against very tough competition, and he possesses a lot of skills. In fact, he may be too good for his own good. But Burton realizes, like against Antonio Diaz, in which he lost last September, he has to come out guns blazing tonight.
I'm in his part of town, you know, majority Hispanic. You know, back to decision again, so I can't afford for it to go the distance. I have to go out here and again make that separation. You know, because it's not just enough for me to beat somebody. You know, I have to actually knock them out.
So that is how the main event shapes up, and here comes John Molina out of Puerto Rico. 50-6, 33 knockouts in his professional career, 11-3 with 8 knockouts in world title bouts, and 1-1 in WBO title bouts against very good competition. Let's break it down in Atlas's world.
At 35, we'll see tonight just how much John Molina, the former two-time world champ, had left. No question he's got the overwhelming offensive superiority against his younger foe, Emanuel Burton. Molina enters the ring to win, whereas Burton does just enough to lose, though. Molina's a solid puncher and gutsy. He's effective at close range, constantly boring in on opponents and wearing them down. And he's accomplished this against top competition over the decades. Burton, who is 10 years younger, cannot match Molina's firepower, but he does have a good jab. Only problem is he doesn't use it enough. His best punch, though, is the left hook. He can lead or counter with it. Defensively, Emanuel has the better talent of the two in avoiding punches, and both men have solid chins, although each has been stopped. Burton is slippery, tough to hit. He's got good defensive instincts in knowing where and when to move to avoid leather. But his talent at times gets overshadowed by his desire to clown around, which can turn on the crowd and turn off the judges. The intangibles. How much spring is left in Molina's 35-year-old leg? Will Burton fight with fire in order to win or do just enough to lose? Naturally bigger, Burton must use his size inside. If he does, he could give Molina a tough competitive fight.
That is the Breakdown in Atlas's world. Let's take a closer look at the combatants for tonight's main event. 25-year-old Emanuel Burton, born in Chicago, fighting out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, weighing in at 135 pounds. 21-15-4 with 10 knockouts. He has lost 2 in a row, but you can make the case that he won both of those fights against Antonio Davis here on Friday Night Fights and Teddy Reed in March in Tunica. You take a look at his last 5 opponents. Had the good knockout against Terrell Finger. Those opponents with a 79-6-2 record. A 91% win percentage has been his most recent competition. He'll fight anytime, anywhere. And he'll be going against former 2-time IBF junior lightweight champion, John Molina. 35 years of age, 137 pounds, 50 wins, 6 losses, 33 knockouts. And according to Molina, of those 6 losses, he felt he only lost 3 of those 6 bouts. Most fighters feel that way. You take a look at his last 5. He has won 5 in a row. He beat Juan Suarez, who we saw last week here on Friday Night Fights, and James Creighton, a good win in July of 1999. So we are getting set. We'll take a look at the Miccosukee rules for tonight's main event of the evening. And they unfold as follows. 3 knockdown rule in effect. No standing 8 count. Only the referee can stop it. Cannot be saved with a bell in any round. Accidental cuts still go to the scorecards after 5 rounds are complete. Frank Santori is our referee for the main event. So John Molina says he wants one more shot at a world title. He knows the end is near. He had the appendix problem against Mosley, had the appendix removed, was still sluggish against Roberto Garcia. He had Garcia down in the 12th. I mentioned 11-3 in title fights, Teddy, with 8 knockouts, 1-1 in WBO fights. And you can say what you want about the WBO, but his WBO opponents were Juan Laporte and Oscar De La Hoya. So no soft touches in there for the highly decorated John Molina. Round number 1 underway.
Look, for Molina early on, he's the faster guy, been the smaller guy most of his career, junior lightweight and lightweight, while Burton's been a junior welterweight most of his career. Look for him to have the speed edge on the outside, Molina, at the beginning. But he loves to get inside. He's a fighter. So somewhere along the line, he will, even though Burton's the bigger man.
Knockout ratio 59% for Molina. He has been stopped twice, once by Mosley and once by Lupe Suarez on cuts back in 1987. Burton has been stopped twice. Jesus Chavez and Alan Vester both stopped him. Burton's been in against good competition as well. Obviously not the level of Molina, but Antonio Diaz, Diabeles Hurtado, Ivan Robinson, Pete Taliaferro, who would be a USBA champion, and Jesus Chavez, who would win an NABF title.
See, Molina, the faster guy, the more fiery, snappy guy. So on the outside, that shows. He can get his punches off quick. And Burton sometimes likes to pose a little too much. Knows what he's doing in there.
Teddy, you and I had that fight last year in Las Vegas here on Friday Night Fights against Antonio Diaz. A lot closer than that unanimous decision that went Diaz's way. Burton is very slick. He's a cutie in there. And we asked him yesterday about his passion. And he says, listen, I fight my fight. I'm not here to trade punches. I'm not here to get my brains scrambled. But therein lies the problem for Burton. He has a lot of tools. He hurts his guys sometimes. But does he have that passion to win?
No, he hasn't in a lot of fights. He's been happy to do just enough to lose well. And that's the difference. That's what separates the men from the boys as far as going to the next level sometimes. Not just the ability, because as we said, Burton has ability. He's been in there with good fighters. He's upset some good fighters too. The problem is he'll be out-hustled sometimes.
And his philosophy is sort of a contradiction, especially knowing that he's going to come in here against Molina and really be impressive. In fact, he feels I probably have to knock Molina out to win on the road, which is not uncommon for Burton.
Molina has to be careful that he doesn't fall asleep on Mr. Burton, because Burton is the kind of guy that fights in spots. You'll be asleep, and then all of a sudden in the spot, he'll make a run at you. Stop! One of the things Burton needs to really tighten up a little bit on is sometimes he's like those guys that you used to goof around with and say, hey, you can't chew gum and talk at the same time, or walk at the same time. And the reason why I say that about Burton, see, he'll make you miss, but then he won't punch back right away. He'll wait till you're done and then come back. You got to learn to do 2 things at once. Make the guy miss, come right back. especially in there with a guy like Molina.
In his last fight against Teddy Reed for the NABF title, he had Reed hurt, but did not finish him. Scheduled for 10. Good round one for Molina and Burton. Round number 2 underway, scheduled for 10. John Molina, Emanuel Burton. Molina in gold trunks, Burton in the black trunks. And Teddy, 35 years of age or not. John Molina threw 112 punches in that first round. And they're going toe-to-toe here to start round 2.
See, when you're older, though, it's not the early part, it's the later part. That's what shows whether or not you can maintain it and have the endurance with the legs and with the punches later in the fight.
See, Burton landed 8 of 58. Burton marches to his own beat. Now, you see there's already swelling under his left eye. And yesterday when we interviewed him, and if you saw our main event piece, there was a little nick under his left eye. He told us earlier in the week he was messing around with some kids in the ring, and he got scratched under his left eye. He said, no big deal, but it's already swollen, Teddy.
The big deal when you're in the ring, and when you trade leather for a living.
Good right hand by Molina. Right on the button.
Yeah, that's part of the problem with Burton. He goes defensive too long sometimes. See, he'll go and give you too many shots. Instead of making you miss and making you pay. See, he's staying there trying to be cute a little too long. And Molina is pretty smart. He's taking what's being given to him. And there he is.
Good right hand to the chin by John Molina.
Burton standing a little straight up, showing a good chin up because Molina's a good banger. Even though most of the banging Molina's done in junior lightweight and lightweight, Burton's been a junior welterweight most of his career. So maybe he can absorb a little bit more being a bigger guy. See, Burton does one thing at a time there, Bob. He'll stand there and go defensive, let you get off. And then when he goes offensive, it's after he's finished on the defense. And you know it's coming. See, Molina knew it was coming. You got to be able to turn offense right off of defense. Turn defense right into offense. Like, come right back now. See, he waits till Molina's done.
Oh, right hand. Buckle the legs of Burton. He is taking a lot of punishment here in round 2.
Yeah, he is. He's trying to turn with those right hands every once in a while. Turn his head with them. Take some of the impact away from him.
He is not the easiest guy to take down, Emanuel Burton. But Molina is pummeling him here in the second round.
When Molina should start going to the body. And he's experienced, I think he's going to realize that. The guy's got a real good chin. Start banging that body a little bit. See if the chin softens up.
Well, Burton, who was slick and cute against Antonio Diaz 2 fights ago, is right now a target for John Molina to pound on through 2.
Burton going defensive too long sometimes, giving a man a chance to get off, and that's what he does. He goes into his defensive mode a little bit too long, and he stands a little bit straight up. Stop to the middle, and that right hand stops on his chin.
Round 3 underway. Burton slipped to start the round. It was not a knockdown. Molina just pounded Burton in round number 2. This bout is scheduled for 10 rounds. Here are the numbers in round 2. Molina landed a whopping 41 of 155, and he landed 26 of 90 power shots. And Teddy, I gave Molina a 10-8 round because he dominated the round so clearly, although there was not a knockdown.
You can make an argument for it. I could see that happening. I gave it 10-9, but I could see it was very close. The way you could go either way with that. Because that was almost as dominant as you could get without scoring a knockdown. But Burton's not done yet. You can't, as I said earlier, don't fall asleep on Burton. He's been in there with a lot of good fighters. And he'll fight in spots. You just got to watch. You don't give him those spots.
Good left hand by Burton.
Yeah, that's his best punch, that left hook, Bob. He can lead with it and he can counter with it. He can be really effective with that left hook.
Didn't seem to phase Molina at all.
The problem with Burton right now, if you pick one thing out as far as X's and O's go, is when he stops right in the middle, right in front of his man. Defensively, he stops right in front in range. And he's been getting caught because of that. he should get out of range or get off on the side. See, he winds up stopping right in front, and Molina, having his feet set, can fire right away.
And Teddy, you know, all of those twists and shimmies of the shoulder and all those things that frustrated Antonio Diaz back in September, that frustrated Molina.
And Molina has seen all that stuff. He's a guy who's been around the block about 8 times.
Molina, 5, 6 punches in a row to the body.
He knows what he can get away with. If Burton's going to go defensive too long, Molina's going to take advantage of it. And Burton does go into the D a little bit too long. Gives his man a chance to get off. Molina's getting off.
Molina throwing the heavier punches against Emanuel Burton through 3. Round number 4 underway between John Molina and Emanuel Burton. And so far, Molina has been able to pound Burton, move him all around the ring. Teddy, we're going to take a look at some punch numbers through 3. And look at that. Through 3 rounds, Molina has already thrown 365 punches.
Yeah, he's getting off. He's being given opportunities. Little windows there where he goes defensive too long. Does too much shimming, too much slipping, too much sliding, too much juking. And Molina doesn't let him get away with it. You know, you have to have a right mix, Bob. Defense and offense. Defense is so you can set up your offense. You have to know that. Not just to make the guy miss, but to be in a position where you can come back so the guy pays. This way the guy will put combinations together. Molina is made into a combination puncher by Burton. Because Burton makes a miss, doesn't punch back, Molina says, hey, instead of staying here for 2, I'll stay here for 6. You fire right back, the guy will say, hey, I better only stay here for 2.
Molina very busy. Goes with the left hand up top.
But don't fall asleep on Burton, I'm telling you. He's got that good left hook. He's tough. He's durable. And he hits forward in spots when you don't expect him to. Especially counters.
One thing he doesn't have a lot of, though, is power. He only has the 10 knockouts in the 40 pro bouts.
But that's a little misleading because that's been with a lot of good fighters, Bob. If he was in there with lesser caliber guys, he'd have more knockouts. You look at his line by line, and they were all good fighters in their hometowns. On quick notice. A lot of those losses on quick notice and over the weight fights, too.
Burton once fought 3 fights in 22 days. In September of '98. Fought in England, then Louisiana, and Denmark. All in the month of September.
This round's a little bit better for Burton. He's starting to punch back in between the D. Instead of letting Molina go on runs too long.
They'll keep exchanging those left hands, but Molina just so much busier. That's obviously been a key in this thing. You wonder how much gas he does have in the tank, though. The punch rate that he's at. Final seconds of the 4th round. Molina continues to throw leather, and Burton not able to slip away enough. There's the bell that end round number 4. So Emanuel Burton trying to regroup, and Teddy, we've seen 4 rounds of this fight. We've seen Molina being very busy. How do you see this thing breaking down at this point? What does Burton have to do to try to get back in?
Well, let me show you. First of all, what I see with Molina, you'll be Burton because he's losing, okay? So you
I'm always losing.
All right? So he's there, and he's duking, he's slipping a little bit, but he's not falling back. So Molina, instead of throwing 1 or 2 and having to get out and having to worry about something coming, he sees nothing coming back, so he says, stay in here. And then sooner or later, he can walk him into something.
Yeah, then Burton throws that 1 punch.
Yeah.
And it's not enough, and Molina's digging to the body as well.
Yeah, he needs to do a little bit more of that. Take a little bit of that juking and that moving away from Burton and start to wear him down so later in the fight, it'll pay off for him.
Now, is Burton falling so far behind at this point that even if Molina tires, I mean, he might build up such a lead that he can't win it.
Yeah, he's got to start working now. Not only that, but that's a good point. Not only that, he's taking punishment now. And that could leave him where he's a little bare later in the fight.
Okay, and we are set for round number 5 between Emanuel Burton and John Molina. A better round for Burton, but still Molina goes over the 100 punch mark in round number 4. Are you surprised, Teddy, that, I mean, we know that Molina's a pro and obviously a seasoned veteran, but are you surprised at exactly how many punches he is throwing per round, or is Burton making it easy? You see 122 in round 4.
Burton's still in this fight, though. He's going to come on. Don't be surprised. He's going to come on and have his spots. But I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all, because it's the styles of Burton. Burton has always been that kind of style, especially early in the fight, where he gets into defense a little bit too much, allows himself to be out-hustled. And Molina, his style is always to be a busy guy. Gutsy, busy, fast hands.
Burton again getting defensive and allowing Molina to be busier. And Burton digging in on the inside. There are a couple body shots by Burton. Not a bad idea against the 35-year-old.
Burton's having good spots here, I'm telling you. He just caught Molina just a few seconds ago, caught him with a good right hand because Molina was getting a little greedy. And you know what? That can happen against a guy like Burton. You don't expect nothing back, so you're sitting there a little too long, and all of a sudden, bang, you get banged. That's what happened. Molina was throwing a little bit too many punches. And Burton came back, nailed him a good right hand.
Well, let's see if Burton can do some body work. There's a right hand by Molina. Swelling on that, under that left eye of Burton. Mentioned that he came into the bout with a little nick. Suffered earlier this week. Molina has gone over the 100 punches thrown in a round again. This is the 4th time in 5 rounds he's done that.
He's always busy, Molina. He's not gonna lose a decision here. There's no doubt about that. It's gonna be a matter of whether or not he gets greedy. Gets nailed throwing too many by Burton. What Burton's doing, it's what he's not doing. He wasn't throwing. All of a sudden you get a little careless, and what happens? Molina all of a sudden gets pot shot in between with some good shots from Burton. That's the danger, Burton, Bob. He's not doing nothing. You start getting a little careless, you get a little greedy, all of a sudden Burton has the spots.
But Teddy, the spots are kind of few and far between. You know, we saw that clip there where for 15-second span he did well in the round, but Molina's volume of punches just tremendous. He threw 128 punches in the last round. Now credit Burton. Burton threw 97 in the last round, but from a judge's standpoint, you have to think that it's probably another round for Molina.
With the harder punches. And Burton's not going to win a decision. As I said before, I don't think he's going to win a decision. His shot is to be able to catch Molina in the middle and throw something, and then put them together.
What about Burton going southpaw here?
Well, he's looking for something. He's looking, he's an experienced guy. He's been all over the place. 2 of these guys are experienced, obviously. Burton's been in with everybody. He's trying to pull a rabbit out of the hat, trying to pull something, see if it works. Punch from a different angle, maybe, and catch Molina with something he doesn't expect.
See the punches landed per round. Teddy's scorecard through 5 rounds. You have it 50 to 46. I have it 50 to 44. I gave Molina a 2-point round in the second.
Molina should go to the body more. He did punch the body a little bit, and it really affected Burton. Burton's been able to take the head punches. Find out how well he takes the body punches.
Left hand by Molina just missed. There's a wild left, but Burton didn't counter off it, Teddy.
And that's his problem. Sometimes they play the defense a little too long.
Double left hand from Burton.
You got to know when to come back. Not stay on the defense too long. Come back at the right time, turn it into offense. And vice versa. Don't stay on the offense too long.
Burton got rocked in the second round, didn't go down. The right hand by Molina.
And Molina just has to be careful. He doesn't stay in the middle, firing his punches. He's going to the side. That's smart. He can't stay in the middle too long. Burton might nail him.
Burton creates some angles for himself.
Burton nailed him with the right hand.
Burton trying as he hits. Gonna look at our replay monitor, and in it, no replay. Round number 7 underway between John Molina and Emanuel Burton. No knockdowns in the bout. Molina has been a punching machine in 5 of the 6 rounds. He's thrown well over 100 punches per round.
He's been a good fighter.
Yeah, it has been. Burton does a lot of subtle things in there, Teddy. He creates some angles for himself, but the problem is he's only doing those things in about 30-second increments in a 3-minute round.
And he's tough and he's durable. But he makes it harder by staying on that, you said, staying on the defense a little too long. If he was busier, which most people think means taking more risk, but in this case it would be less risk. Because by moving his hands more instead of just staying defensive, he gives the other guy less chances to throw, and therefore take less punches.
Take a look at the average punches per round by Molina. He's averaging 126 punches thrown around. And the fewest punches he's landed in any round have been 22. The high mark, 41.
Molina taking a little break. He's an experienced son of a gun. He's taking a little rest here. He's boxing. You see what he did real subtly. He's picking his spots. Using his legs, staying on the outside.
See, the other thing, too, Teddy, that you mentioned earlier with Molina not just staying right in front of Burton, all this cutie shoulder turn stuff that Burton used that frustrated Antonio Diaz and beat Terrell Finger and so on and so forth. Molina doesn't fall for those shots because he's seen it all.
Oh, no, he's a little bit too experienced for that. I mean, he's a guy who's fought 7 current or former world champ. Former 2-time world champ. He's seen it, been there, done that.
You know, we asked him about De La Hoya and Mosley. He fought both of them. He says that's a fight that he would pay to watch. He says he's rooting for Mosley. He had the appendix problem in the Mosley fight, but he felt he hurt Mosley a couple times, and he wasn't even 100%. He said if De La Hoya's 100%, he thinks that Oscar can hurt Mosley. He says De La Hoya's missing something. He doesn't feel the conditioning and the commitment is there that we once saw from De La Hoya. He thinks Oscar will probably win, but he said he's playing for Mosley.
Of course, there's a lot on the plate of De La Hoya. He's got recording sessions going on, albums coming out. A lot of stuff goes with that fame. And it can be distracting, no doubt about it.
Well, you mentioned Molina sort of taking a break in this round, but Emanuel Burton hasn't done a whole lot to make Molina pay for that break.
No, he's allowed Molina to take the break.
Final seconds of the 7th, scheduled for 10. Here's Brian and Max.
Bob, thank you. Some good professional stuff there. Is this what you expected? You had high hopes?
I expected a little more than that, although there are a couple of 4 rounds left in this fight, 4 or 5 rounds left. We're going into the 8th here. There's a difference between relaxed and casual, and Bob and Teddy hit this fight right on the head before the fight started. Burton, it's okay to be relaxed, and this is why he can give so many guys good fights, but he's almost casual in there. And he let the guy take a few rounds. He won't move his hands enough during the course of a round. And that little difference, that little spark is what Molina has, and it's the reason Burton doesn't get these close decisions.
Meantime, some heavyweight news to pass along. Michael Grant, off his first pro loss in the heavyweight title fight, underwent arthroscopic knee surgery for a torn ACL. Surgery said to be successful, but the heavyweight cannot train now for 2 to 3 months. The Grant camp indicated that the injury occurred in the 3rd knockdown, that 1-2 combo from Lennox Lewis that really crumpled Michael Grant, that he went down awkwardly. on that knee. So Michael Grant now out for 2 to 3 months. It's going to take a little while for him to get back into the mix.
He needed to take a rest anyway.
After this, it wouldn't help get his psyche back as long as his knee. Go to the main event now. Bob Papa and Teddy Atlas standing by. Go ahead, gentlemen, take it away.
All right, thanks very much, Brian and Max. Fans enjoying themselves like you guys are here at the Miccosukee in Miami, Florida. And John Molina enjoying himself against Emanuel Burton. He has been very busy and actually a poor round for Molina. Teddy, you mentioned that Molina was taking the round off. He only threw 93 punches. He landed 25 of 93.
He's a smart veteran. He still controlled the round.
There are the power punches through 7. Molina busier. He's landed more. Jabs through 7. Molina 81 of 400 jabs. Burton 34 of 214. All the numbers heavily tilted in Burton's favor, in Molina's favor, but Burton has 3 rounds here to work with, Teddy. What can he do to change the flow of this thing?
Start moving his hands a little bit more. Instead of going on defense too long, go on the offense. Go on the offense a little bit and punch back sooner in between the misses. Instead of waiting until you make him miss 5 punches, punch back as he's missing a second. Punch right in between and nail him throwing something. You can hurt a guy that way. Because the guy doesn't expect it. He doesn't see it sometimes. See, like right here, Burton should be staying in position to punch. A lot of times, those moves you talk about, moving those shoulders and stuff, the bad thing about it is he gets himself out of position while he's making a guy miss. And his legs are ready to punch.
Well, he took a big shot to the body and then a right to the head.
The key to making a guy miss is staying in position to fire back, too.
And Molina just digging in. And I think Burton, one of the mistakes he made, Teddy, was not trying to attack Molina's body earlier. Molina's fresh as a daisy, despite the fact that he's thrown over 800 punches through 7 rounds.
Yeah, because in his way, he hasn't taken anything. And on the other side of the coin, Burton's taken a tremendous amount of punishment. You got to give him credit. He's still pretty strong for a guy that's taken that many punches. And still willing.
Earlier in this round, Molina ripped a right hand to the ribs. And that opened up Burton to eat a right hand.
I still think Molina should be going to that body a little bit more.
Burton looking a little frustrated. He's going to have nightmares of 2 red dots coming out.
He's looking for a spot to punch in between here, Bob. Burton's looking for a spot where Molina just stays there a little bit too long. Just watch for it.
But as you mentioned earlier, Molina doesn't just stay there. He moves.
That's why he's a 2-time world champ.
And John Molina has been a punching machine through 8 rounds.
Friday Night Fights will be coming up on his trip there. Also see Butterbean and me in St. John. Bob and Teddy will be there as well, guys.
But Molina knows how to take what's given him. He's got a man in front of him who's giving him spots, and he's just peppering him. And he's moving in between his punches, Molina. Watch. He changes distance, doesn't allow Burton to get off when he wants to come back. Molina gets finished, he'll step out a little bit, and make sure that he doesn't allow his man to go back.
We begin round number 9, and you know, we talked about this earlier because we asked Emanuel Burton about this yesterday. We asked him about his passion to win. He's done just enough to lose on a lot of occasions. He's had his opponents hurt, hasn't been able to finish them. Well, Teddy, he showed some passion and a lot of courage here tonight against John Molina.
He's just not moving his hands enough. Plenty of guts.
Sometimes you just run into a guy who genuinely is better than you.
And sometimes when you close that many fights, you start to get a little bit of an opponent's mentality that you do without even realizing it. You're just doing your job like a sparring partner, just enough to get by. It's the difference between a winner's mentality and a loser's mentality.
And Burton said it, listen, I'm not a toe-to-toe, punch-for-punch kind of guy, but I do have to do something different tonight against Molina to make myself stand out. Well, he has thrown a lot of punches. I mean, this is a guy that's averaging about 85 to 90 punches thrown around. And Molina's just been better.
Sometimes when you've been in everyone's backyard, you're taking fights on quick notice, and you've been robbed in decision, and you have a record that's 21 and 15 and 4, you don't care quite as much about having to move those hands from the beginning. beginning of a guy who's been winning his whole career, like Molina. Comes down to a little bit of mentality.
Well, I agree with you. But on the flip side, I just think Molina's better.
He is. He's got faster hands.
Because there were many spots here where Burton could have just said, you know what? This guy's too strong for me. He's too quick. There are many chances for Burton to just kind of duck out of this thing.
But he's still in there. He's having a good spot right here. But John's talking to him a little bit, using all of that experience. I still think Molina should have went to the body more from the beginning. That would have taken a little bit more out of Burton than just the head punches. Would have been a little bit harder for Burton to hang in here like he is now. Very little body work from Molina. Should have been a lot more. If you can't knock what he's done a hell of a job. He's looked good, Molina. Gotta give him credit.
He's definitely got some fight left in him. And he would like nothing better than to finish off Burton.
Yeah, he's not close to.
But Burton answers right back. Right hands by Molina.
Wow.
Man, great action.
Tremendous. Give him a hand.
Jose Martinez in the corner of John Molina.
Get their hands inside. Get going. Last round. Don't get inside.
Keep the hands moving and don't stay inside. There's been a couple of things that Molina has done well, especially keeping the hands moving, Teddy.
Oh, he's done plenty of that, hasn't he?
He threw 125 punches in the last round.
I gotta applaud him at this point in his career, 35 years old, 56 fights. Guy keeps himself in shape. He does what a professional should do. Comes ready to fight all the time. 100%. We gotta get Burton.
Let's face it, the odds of Molina being able to win a title again, probably not that good. But he's probably earning himself another shot by the fact that he's got something left in the tank.
I would say you're probably right. You know what? You gotta be careful. You don't go into that prevent defense like the football teams do. The Burton's having a little spot here, although Molina's stopping it.
Well, so the translator said, they told Molina, don't stand in front of him. Keep the hands moving, but don't stay right in front of him. And the veteran not doing that.
But Molina has radar. Look at his eyes. Look at his vision. Look at his vision, Bob. Look, he's throwing at the right time. And he sees the punches coming. He slips and then he fires in.
Look at that champion.
Beautiful. He's got good vision in there. Applaud Burton. He's gutsy as heck, but he's the one taking all the punches. Molina was right in front of him, but not getting hit. He would move his head just a little bit on the side, let them miss, and then he would fire and land.
He has been quiet and unassuming throughout an illustrious career. But John Molina is proving at age 35, as he did at age 25, that his hands can do some serious talking for him.
Yes, it's beautiful what he's doing there on the ropes right there. He's keeping the range just right, where he's out of range, when he's on the defense, and then when he's on the offense, he steps into range. Look at it, it's beautiful. Look how he gets out of range. Look, he's out of range now, even though he took a little something on the way out. And now when he wants to be in range, he'll move his hands. And when you're calm like Molina is, you can see everything.
Maybe this former world champion will get one more shot before the year is out to challenge for a title. He says that's all he wants is a shot at a title.
He deserves that, I would say.
Well, if you consider that guys like Julio Cesar Chavez have a #1 ranking in another weight class.
Yeah, that's terrible. When you look at this guy.
The highest he's ranked is 28th from the WBC.
Look how Molina gets out of range, gets popped back in, but he wants the bump. Nice job.
He averaged 120 punches thrown around. Emanuel Burton was slick, but not slick enough. John Molina gave him a two-fisted sandwich. The judges card after this timeout.
There's a moment as I bite into a Wendy's classic double with cheese.
Engines. John Molina, Emanuel Burton. Here are the final punches. And you see Molina averaged 121 punches thrown up. That's got to be a CompuBox record for boxers over 35. There are the punches landed, 355 to 141. Molina landed 232 power shots. Teddy's scorecard. And Teddy, you had it 100 to 91 for Molina. I had it 100 to 89. Here's Amy Hayes with the judges' cards.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous decision. Judge Mark Streisand and Michael Burnick scores the bout 100 to 90. And Judge Peter Trematura scores the bout 99 to 91 for your winner, fighting out of the blue corner, John Molina.
John Molina picks up career win number 55 and proved tonight that he has something left. Emanuel Burton was game. Here's Brian and Max.
Guys, thank you very much.
What a fight.
Fabulous effort by both men.
Playoff.